Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel of biochemistry. So today's topic is glyoxylate cycle. So this cycle is very important cycle, and this cycle takes place in plants and many microorganisms. But this cycle cannot happen in animals including human beings. So let us see why this cycle is happening in plants and microorganisms and what is the importance of this cycle. So first thing is, in plants and in microorganisms, glyoxylate pathway takes place. In plants, there are specialized organelles which are called as glyoxysomes. So only in this glyoxysomes, this glyoxylate cycle will happen. Whereas in microorganisms, in their cytoplasm only, this pathway will take place. So in plants, this pathway, it has importance especially in germination process of the seeds. That means when the seeds are undergoing germination, that time they require energy, and you all know that seeds, they are very rich in lipids and they cannot get energy by photosynthesis, so they will depend on this pathway of glyoxylate cycle. In this pathway, in the germinating seeds, there will be lot of fat which is stored, that is triacyl glycerol. So this stored fat, it will be mobilized and it will be converted into fatty acids. So you get free fatty acids. This will undergo oxidation and they give acetyl-CoA molecules. So these acetyl-CoA molecules are the precursors of this glyoxylate cycle. Each acetyl-CoA is having 2 carbons. So in seeds, because they are very rich in lipids, when they undergo germination process, that time lot of acetyl-CoAs are produced. And this acetyl-CoAs, they will undergo this glyoxylate cycle, where this is a process by which you can convert fat into carbohydrate. So this is only the major significance of this entire pathway, conversion of fat into carbohydrate. This is not happening in animals because of the absence of the important enzymes of glyoxylate cycle. So this cycle, it was discovered by 2 scientists. One of the scientists' name is Korenberg. And another scientist is Krebs. So you can see that here, this cycle initiates same like Krebs cycle or TCA cycle. So it will also have formation of citrate, isocitrate, but it bypasses the decarboxylation reactions and some other reactions of TCA cycle, and it will be having some 2 key enzymes which are special to this glyoxylate cycle. So those key enzymes are, first one, it is isocitrate lyase. So if you have seen the TCA cycle, you will be knowing in TCA cycle we have isocitrate dehydrogenase. So that step is bypassed here by this enzyme that is isocitrate lyase. Another special enzyme of this pathway, it is malate synthase. So these are the main enzymes of glyoxylate cycle. So first thing you should know here is the scientists Korenberg and Krebs, they have discovered this glyoxylate cycle. In plants and microorganisms, this cycle takes place. In plants, glyoxysomes, whereas in microorganisms like bacteria and all, it will take place in cytoplasm. Key enzymes are 2 isocitrate lyase and malate synthase. The main importance of this pathway is conversion of fat into carbohydrate. So let us see the pathway in detail. So we require here lipids, that is fats. So when they are oxidized, they will liberate fatty acids and glycerol. And these fatty acids upon oxidation will give you acetyl CoA molecules. So these are the main sources which we are getting from fats in this glyoxylate cycle. In microorganisms, if they have sources like glucose, pyruvate, like that as the carbon sources, then they will undergo this TCA cycle and they will get energy, and glyoxylate cycle will be inhibited. But if the main source is acetate there as the carbon source, then they will adapt this glyoxylate pathway. So these are the important thing about this pathway in plants and in microorganisms. In plants, during germination, because plants cannot depend on photosynthesis, they will depend on fats or oils which is present inside the seeds. When they oxidize, they give free fatty acids, and this by beta oxidation will give you acetyl CoA. And this is used by this glyoxylate cycle for formation of glucose. So initial steps are same like TCA cycle steps. So first step in TCA cycle is condensation of oxaloacetate with acetyl CoA. So that step will be same here also. Enzyme also is same. So one acetyl CoA, one oxaloacetate. They condense. One CoA will be released. And we get a condensed product, that is citrate. Since this step is the TCA cycle step only, so we have the same enzyme also. So the enzyme here is citrate synthase. Next step is also similar to TCA cycle. So this citrate molecule, it will be isomerized into its isomer isocitrate. So in this isomerization reaction, there is an intermediate called as cis-aconitate, and the enzyme here is aconitase. This is also a TCA cycle enzyme only. After these two steps in TCA cycle, this isocitrate will undergo oxidative decarboxylation to alpha ketoglutarate by isocitrate dehydrogenase. But in this case, that step is bypassed by another step, which is catalyzed by an enzyme called as isocitrate lyase. So this is a special enzyme for glyoxylate cycle. Isocitrate lyase. So in this step, this 4 carbon containing isocitrate, the 6 carbon containing isocitrate, it will split into 2 molecules. One molecule is succinate, which has 4 carbons, and another molecule it is giving is the glyoxylate. So this glyoxylate is the first stable product of this cycle, which is different from the TCA cycle products. So based on that, the name of the cycle is given as glyoxylate cycle. So this 6 carbon containing isocitrate is split into C4 plus C2. This C2, it is the glyoxylate molecule. So it has 2 carbons. One carbon is the aldehyde group. Another one is the acid group. So this is the structure of glyoxylate. Now this glyoxylate will be further undergoing this glyoxylate cycle by condensing with again acetyl-CoA molecule. So it requires 2 acetyl-CoA molecules here, one in the beginning and one after the formation of glyoxylate. Now glyoxylate and acetyl-CoA, they both will condense. There will be a removal of this CoA here. So 2 carbon plus 2 carbon. So resultant will be 4 carbon containing malate. So this malate is having 4 carbons. So this step also is done by a special enzyme of this pathway or this cycle called as malate synthase. Malate synthase. Then again we can regenerate malate to oxaloacetate to close this cycle. So here the enzyme is the TCA cycle enzyme again, that is malate dehydrogenase, where there will be production of one NADH here. So main thing you have to remember here is the 2 enzymes which are specially used in this pathway. One is isocitrate lyase, another one is malate synthase. So these 2 enzymes, they will divert the citric acid steps into glyoxylate steps from isocitrate onwards. So isocitrate, it will lyse into 2 products, succinate plus glyoxylate. Glyoxylate condenses with another acetyl-CoA to form malate. Malate will regenerate oxaloacetate by malate dehydrogenase. Now here the important thing you should remember is formation of succinate. So every glyoxylate cycle, it will form one succinate which has 4 carbons. And every glyoxylate cycle, there are 2 acetyl-CoAs which are entering. So this is 2 carbon acetyl-CoA. This is also 2 carbon acetyl-CoA. So 2 plus 2, 4. So every time when this cycle is happening, one 4 carbon succinate is liberated. So we have to calculate that 2 acetyl-CoA molecules are giving rise to one 4 carbon containing succinate. And we know that succinate is a TCA cycle intermediate. This cycle is taking place in glyoxysomes, specialized organelles present in plants cells. And this succinate, it will enter into the mitochondrial matrix. There it will regenerate the intermediates of TCA cycle like oxaloacetate, and from oxaloacetate by gluconeogenesis we can generate glucose. So this succinate will give you glucose. If you get any intermediates of TCA cycle, so that will lead to oxaloacetate, and oxaloacetate by gluconeogenesis can be converted to glucose. So the fats, they are giving fatty acids which will give acetyl-CoA. So this 2 carbon acetyl-CoA plus here 2 carbon acetyl-CoA, total 4 carbon succinate is formed, and this succinate by TCA cycle reactions in mitochondrial matrix can give rise to oxaloacetate, and this oxaloacetate or malates, they can be acting as a precursors of glucose. By gluconeogenesis they will synthesize a glucose molecule. So that is how we are relating conversion of fats into carbohydrates. So especially in plants, this pathway is essential during the germination of seeds. So they will store the fat and they convert it into sugar for getting their energy requirements. And in bacteria, when the acetate is the main carbon source, they will adapt this pathway. They will activate all the enzymes of glyoxylate cycle, and then glyoxylate pathway will happen. So I hope you have understood this pathway. This is a small pathway, but it has lot of significance, because this pathway is not available, not happening inside the animals. We cannot convert fat into carbohydrates, but plants and microorganisms can do so because of the presence of glyoxylate enzymes, especially isocitrate lyase and malate synthase. So hope you have understood the pathway. So in plants, one more thing you can remember, that there is a compartmentalization of organelles. In glyoxysomes, you will have enzymes of glyoxylate cycle, and in mitochondria you will have enzymes of TCA cycle. So both the cycles, they are separated by different compartments, so they will be regulated in that way. But in bacteria, depending upon the available carbon sources, the pathways will be regulated. Like if carbon source is glucose, then TCA cycle will be predominating and glyoxylate cycle will be inhibited. And if the lipid source is giving more acetate as the carbon source, then the glyoxylate pathway will be activated. Okay, so that is how they will utilize the lipids as a source of energy by converting it into carbohydrates. So thank you for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel, and if you have any doubts, please put it in the comment box.